Okay, so we're going to do this next tutorial, and what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to learn to once again identify the purpose of the image. In this case, it's web. We're going to use the rectangular marquee tool, which is should be familiar to us, but we're going to use a fixed ratio selection. That might be new to you. We're going to start using mask to apply partial effects. We're going to select options, rounded corners, and we're going to apply we're going to talk about the difference between PNG and JPG. Okay, first of all, if you haven't done so already, make sure you completed the first video of this series, and when doing so, you will know how to download these files. So you want to open Batman, Joker, and in your Photoshop. Okay, so when you do, it looks something like this. So the first step here, I guess, is let's have a look at what we're going to complete. So this is what we're going to do. Just look at it's for the web, and it's going to be, you know, the next movie. You know, Joker comes back to life. Joker being you know, probably one of the coolest villains ever created, in my very humble opinion. And of course, this is all fictitious, but anyways. So in Batman, and we're going to use this backdrop. Alright, so what we're going to do is we want this for a web. We want a square shape of about 7 inches and a quarter, so 7.25 inches. So how do we do this? Now we identify the purpose, web, we identify the size. Now we can choose a resolution. So let's have a look at image size. Aha, 72 pixels already, or 72 pixels per inch resolution. That's all we need for screen. Okay, this image is far from square. If we try to change these numbers, it's going to squish the image. It's going to look disproportionate. So what can we do? The resolution is correct. Awesome. So we're going to select the rectangular marquee tool. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to select fixed ratio. Okay, usually it's normal. In case when it's normal, you can make it any size you want. But instead of that, okay, we're going to select fixed ratio, a 1-to-1 ratio, which will give a square. So now when we drag it, we see that we can't, it always drags to be a square. We can't make it anything else but a square. Okay, so we hold the space bar, we can move it around. Okay, let go of the space bar, we can make it bigger. Hold the space bar, move it around, let go of the space bar, make it bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I can select like a window what I want. I'm going to put Batman's cape right at the corner, and that puts Batman's head right at the top third intersection of the image, using the rule of thirds. So I'm going to let go of my mouse, let go of the space bar. Okay, so now I go image, crop. Okay, so now I have basically my select. Now I have my image, my backdrop. Now the problem with selecting this image here, it makes it very, again, Joker's hair blends in way too nicely with the background. For me to really make any kind of an accurate selection, it's going to be extremely difficult. And even if I can do it, I mean, it's not going to look very good at all. Alright, so what we need to do is we're going to use our little quick mask trick again. So turn on quick mask, make sure you have black foreground, white background. If you don't, just click on this button here. Click on the gradient tool, and we're going to use the circular gradient tool. We're going to start about the eye, move right about here, so and that is, I think, a little more over here. Okay, that is roughly what I want. Okay, so I'm going to exit quick mask mode, and if you hit delete, you can see that it deleted everything else in the background except for the face. I actually want the opposite of that. I want to select the face, so I'm going to select inverse. Okay, and you can see that it selects the face perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this image, okay, and I'm going to drag it over to here. It's going to be huge. Look how big that is. That's going to be a problem. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the zoom tool, right click in here, fit on screen, and then I'm going to take my navigator and make it really small. Okay, and I'm going to go edit, free transform, and I'm going to click in the corner here, hold down the left mouse button, hold down shift, change it in proportion, drag this, move it a little closer, roughly about there, maybe a little smaller. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, I'm going to click on my zoom tool, right click, fit on screen. That's roughly what I want. Okay, I'm going to use my move tool, move it down to, I can feel that it feels jaggedy when I move it, like it's moving in steps. I know that I have snap turn on, so I'm going to turn off snap. Now I can move it nice and accurate. Okay, so the next task here is I want to blend it gradually into the background. Okay, I want to make it look really, really freaky, really spooky. So what I want to do here is the first thing I'm going to do is I want to desaturate the color. So as the image proceeds this way, I want to suck the color out of it and eventually make it full color right down to black and white. Make it real subtle. So I'm going to use my quick mask tool again. Okay, black foreground, white background, gradient tool. In this case, I'm going to use this gradient tool here, linear gradient. I'm going to move from here all the way over to here. Okay, exit my quick mask mode, and when you delete, you see what it does there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go image, okay, adjustments, desaturate the color. Okay, getting there already. So you notice here that over here, the effect really didn't apply too much. It's still full color, even though there's not many colors. But over here, okay, the effect applied gradually more from here over to here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to apply a second effect. So that effect was again image, adjustments, and desaturate. So I'm going to apply a second effect. I want to make this a little bit opaque so it blends in the background. Hit delete once. Okay. And hit delete once, and it blends real nice into the background. Okay, and I'm going to go select, deselect. Now what I'm going to do is I want to apply another effect, but this time I want the selection to go in a little further. I want it to apply more here than it does here. So I'm going to enter my quick mask mode, black and white. If it's not black foreground and white background, then click on this and it will be that way. Okay. Click on the gradient tool and linear gradient tool. This time I'm going to move from here a little further over here like that. Alright, so click on this mask here and hit delete one more time. Okay, change my mind on the delete. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a filter to this one here. So I'm going to go filter, texture, I can't pronounce this, but I'm going to apply this one here, and I'm going to apply it with a little bit less depth there. Okay, so I'm going to go select, deselect. Okay, so here I have my image, and you can see that it blends real nicely in the background, almost to the point where you could almost not even recognize that it's Joker. Remember, the whole idea, my movie idea is that, you know, Joker has somehow come back to life, and you know, and it's, you know, Batman's enemy again. So anyways, so those are some creative uses on how to use the quick mask tool. Alright, so we use a number of different effects, from just deleting it and making it blend in real nicely to the background, okay, to image size, image adjustments, desaturating, and applying a filter. And you can see how that, you know, that effect applies more heavily here than it does here. Okay, so anyways, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what I want is actually I want rounded corners. Okay, so if you have a look at this one here, I actually went to the trouble of making these rounded corners. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go select all, and then go select, modify, smooth, and I'm going to round the corners by 20 pixels. Okay, you see that round the corner by 20 pixels. So right now everything in the middle is selected. So what I want to do is we're going to select inverse, okay, and you see that I'm working on layer 1, but that's not what I want. I want to work on the background. So layer 1, first of all, layer 1 is a bad layer name, so I'm going to call this one Joker. Okay, in the background, you notice that it's an italics background and a little lock here. background is a special layer. It doesn't allow full editing. So in order to make it into a layer that does allow full editing, I'm going to double click on this, click on OK. Layer 0 is a bad name. I'm going to call this Batman. Alright. Now it's a layer that does allow full editing. And I inverse it, so I select the corners. Alright. So just hit delete and I have rounded corners. Select, deselect. Now, if I file, save as, okay, I want to save as a PSD, that way I get to keep all my layer information. Great. Okay. Now what I want to do here is I want to go select, save that. Sorry, file, save that. I'm going to save it as two different files. I'm going to save this as JPEG. All right. And go file, save as. Okay, I want to save this as JPEG. I'm going to save this as PNG, and then I'm going to talk about the difference between the two. All right. So if you go back to your folder, okay. So now I have Batman.jpg and Batman.png. What's the difference between the two? Well, if you click on this link here, including your files, you'll see the difference. Okay. So you see that PNG is a file format that allows background transparency. So right now I have a black background, and you can see through the background, you can see the nice rounded borders here. Okay. Now in JPEG, okay, JPEG does not allow for rounded background, does not allow for odd shaped images. All JPEG images must be square or rectangular in shape. Okay, so it will not allow for background transparency. So JPEG is a free and open format, does not allow for background transparency or odd shaped images. It must be square or rectangular. It has millions of colors, and it's open source formats freely available for everyone. PNG does allow for background transparency and allows for millions of colors, and is also a universal format. However, at this time, still not, I would say, as universal as JPEG. All right. So basically, the idea is that you want to save all the files. You want to save as a PSD, and saving as PSD, you'll retain your layer information. Okay, but the problem with PSD is that you can't really use it unless you have Photoshop. You save it as JPEG or PNG is a good option. Okay, it's a better option, I guess, if you want to actually plan to email it or use it or print it or something like that. Okay, so now you should understand the difference between JPEG and PNG. Now, your in this case, your assignment is to create this image. All right, but what I want you to do is I want you to replace Joker, okay, with any other Batman villain. All right, so apply the same techniques I did, but choose your own villain. Save it, hand it in, email it to me, and again, make sure your email includes relevant information: name, date, block, assignment, and just call this assignment Batman. And this is I hope you enjoyed doing this assignment. Just a quick thing to run you through a whole bunch of new techniques and skills that hopefully you didn't know before. Okay, so have fun with it, and I'll see you when I come back.